Emergency! Everybody to get from street! Emergency! Everybody to get from street!
Hi, I just thought I'd give you a little flu shot propaganda update. Well, apparently many Americans plan to skip the flu shot this year. It says here that 43% of Americans are planning to skip the flu shot. Uh-oh, time to bring out the propaganda. Flu is serious. Every year millions of people get sick. More than 200,000 people are hospitalized and thousands of people die from influenza, according to Dr. Thomas R. Frieden, director of the U.S. CDC. Well, it's true that people die, but 90% of them are over 65, even over 70, and the rest of them are immune compromised, like they have cancer or HIV or some other immune deficiency. Dr. Mark Siegel noted that many people who opt not to get a flu shot are falling prey to myths about the vaccine. This is what he says. It's all because of this nonsense that's been circulating that somehow the flu shot is dangerous. What? Like circulating on the internet? You mean like in PubMed and things like that? That it's dangerous? Nonsense? You mean like the studies about aluminum hydroxide? Like this study, aluminum hydroxide injection lead to motor deficits and motor neuron degeneration? This study found that mice that were injected with aluminum hydroxide developed basically the symptoms of Alzheimer's and also biomedical markers, and the aluminum was found in their spinal fluid. Okay, granted, it's not aluminum hydroxide that's in most of the vaccines, although it is in some, like the Hep B vaccines and I think the anthrax vaccine, but usually it's aluminum phosphate. So that should be okay, right? Aluminum neurotoxicity in preterm infants receiving intravenous feeding solutions. Well, they found that preterm babies who are receiving IV feeding solution that had aluminum in it, probably not aluminum hydroxide, probably more like aluminum phosphate, because that's what they use most of the time. They had neurological impairment as a result. But they were preterm babies, right? And we're not preterm babies. So we should listen to Dr. Mark Siegel, who says, the fear of the vaccine outweighs the fear of the disease, and that's a huge mistake because the disease is more dangerous than the vaccine. Remember this? Children who get flu vaccine have 3 times risk of hospitalization for flu, study suggests. This was a study done by the Mayo Clinic that found that vaccinated kids, especially asthmatics, had higher hospitalization rates than the ones who hadn't had the flu shot. So does that count as the flu shot being dangerous? Oddly, it says here 77% of Americans are aware that new recommendations support most people getting a flu shot and are planning to get vaccinated. Somebody has a problem with math here, because before you had 43% refusing to take the flu shot, and now suddenly you got 77% that are planning to take it. This is, I guess, the new math that goes along with the new logic. Okay, here's where the propaganda gets really annoying. It says, among the 43% of Americans who don't plan on being vaccinated, wait, I thought 77% planned on being vaccinated. Misconceptions and what the researchers call magical thinking were cited as reasons for not getting a flu shot. Magical thinking is a term used in the DSM, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual, used to diagnose psychiatric diseases, to describe thought disorders, delusions, that people with certain personality disorders or other psychiatric problems have. Here would be an example of magical thinking, schizotypal personality disorder. It's raining outside because I'm sad, or obsessive compulsive disorder. I just had a thought that I wish my mother would die, which means I'm going to make my mother die by my thoughts. So now I have to perform a ritual to counteract this thought. Now, if you refuse the flu shot, it's magical thinking. You're crazy. Okay, so here are some examples of magical thinking as it applies to refusal to get the flu shot, according to this article. Mistaken beliefs that there are other ways to protect yourself from flu, or the belief that they are healthy and the flu just doesn't worry them. Okay, other ways to protect yourself from flu? Vitamin D helps fend off flu, asthma attacks, says this study. they found that people who were taking vitamin D were 3 times less likely to report cold and flu symptoms. So they ended up doing a study on school children aged 6 to 15, and they found that basically it cut their chance of getting flu in half. And if you eliminated the children who were already receiving vitamin D from their parents from some other supplement, it cut it down by more than 60%. So must be magical thinking going on over there in Japan. 62% believe that the vaccine actually gives you the flu, and they say in parentheses that it doesn't. Now, it doesn't give you the flu, but if you look at any package insert, you'll see that as side effects are listed basically all the symptoms of the flu. Oh yes, and 48% don't believe the vaccine will match the flu that's circulating, and so it won't be effective. You have 200 or 300 strains of flu floating around the world. These people have what, a crystal ball? I mean, no, actually they don't, and a lot of times it is a mismatch. So in summary, if you don't want to take the flu shot, you suffer from a thought disorder known as magical thinking. You are crazy, cuckoo. You're a threat to society. But really, the truth is maybe that you will go crazy cuckoo if you take the flu shot because of all the mercury and aluminum that's in there.
Emergency! Everybody to get from street! Emergency! Everybody to get from street!